last Christmas I gave
Oh, that was very good. Very good.
Last Christmas I gave you a thump, is it?
Yeah.
The very next day you ended up with a lump.
Can you imagine how bad the fella that had the 11th one felt?
Anyway,
There's a girl on her way up to me now to give me back a hat I gave her a loan of. I can see her out the window. She's coming back up to give me a loan of a mortarboard hat. And I can see her on her way up now to me. So I'll be leaving you for about 2 seconds in about 5 minutes.
Graduating.
I don't think we can control our disappointment.
Bring her in
and she
and we'll have a
approaches
chat
the
with her about
house.
hat.
wear the hat.
Wear the hat, indeed. I have to get it first now. Hold on.
Bring it in and put it on, Tony.
He'll come back as Dr. Tony.
Bring her in and we'll have a chat with her.
He'll come back as Dr. Tony Brown now.
Yeah. I could turn up the volume again.
I'm back.
She bring you chocolates, Tony.
She gave me a box of Dairy Box chocolates.
Is it a potted plant or a bunch of flowers?
I love Dairy Box chocolates because all kids love Dairy Box chocolates. I'm mad about Dairy Box chocolates in the new white box. You see?
Well, hopefully Dairy Milk Cadbury's will
Tony,
start
I'll be up in a
sending
half
us
an
some
hour.
chocolate.
I think somebody gave Tony a plant earlier, and I think he might have been smoking it.
No, Dairy Box.
If we were all in the studio now, we'd be able to eat them.
We
I know, it'd be nice, wouldn't it, Brian?
Lovely.
Brian, I can give you his address later and we can call around for a chocolate.
No, it'll be gone.
Or Tony, you can drop down here. Oh, for God's sake. That's good. That's good. That's good.
No, Tony, that goes to the other side, to the right or to the left. Usually the left. Yeah.
Tony, what are you doing with a hat like that? You're supposed to have a brain. You're supposed to have a brain to wear a hat like that.
I made it and I gave a loan of it to a girl.
So anyway, before we do anything,
yeah, Tony's a tailor.
A guy called Gavin, who I think was hosting a morning show.
Gavin Grace.
Yeah, and so that was a positive experience. I'd have time for him.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, I plugged your book, is it?
I tend not to listen to Claire FM much, but I was invited in, and it was a nice opportunity to speak a little bit about the issues in the book and my own personal journey, which I'm sure your guests and panel there can avail of if they're passing Eason's in Shannon.
I'm keeping all my money for a pint of Guinness when I'm allowed to pick and drink.
My bathroom doesn't have a plug as big as that. That's ridiculous.
So, to answer the question,
by the way, what's the book about?
And how much is it?
Go on, Carol. Tell Brian.
All those answers can be found at www.carljashley.com.
It's about a turkey and a fox
and a scorpion.
And a scorpion.
And a wasp. But
we don't have scorpions in this country.
No, there's no more turkeys now.
Helen Shapiro?
Absolutely not. I stopped watching television about 10 years ago. And I stopped buying mainstream media newspapers over 10 years ago, maybe longer, 15, 20. In fact, yeah, at least 20 years.
You didn't join the Green Party by any chance, did you?
Since I bought a newspaper. I do read a lot, and I'm a writer. I'm currently writing my 5th book. I think television is a huge waste of time, although I did used to like...
I know we'll digress. Tell the lads what was the first book you wrote.
The first book, The Fox and the Scorpion meets Cold Turkey. I was interviewed...
I'll repeat that for the lads. The Fox and the Scorpion meets Cold Turkey.
Yeah, I was interviewed by...
Is that the fox I heard there?
That turkey's going to get
or
a
is
hiding now.
Is it the cold turkey?
The dog's barking at a wasp, sorry.
We'll have to do a book club.
Is that going to be a 6th book, Carl, is it?
Is it all right if I finish, Pat?
It is, yeah, it is, of course.
Where are you going away?
You'll get no change here, you know.
Time to go, lads. Time to go.
Go on, Carl. So the first book you wrote...
It's only your first time on now, Carl. Don't be getting too ahead of yourself now.
He's plugging the book. He's plugging the book already.
Sounds like the Late Show, lads.
Welcome to our 9th edition of Women's Empowerment Hour, brought to you by LiRmedia.tv. I'm Siobhan Gannon, founder of Embodied Soulful Living, Yoni Awakening Journey, and most recently, the Awakened Woman membership community. And my mission is to awaken and support women on their journey to female sexual acceptance, self-pleasure and sexual empowerment, which I believe is key to unlocking a woman's personal power, wisdom, authentic voice, and raw potential. And I do that through sexual wellness, self-pleasure and relationship coaching, somatic experiencing, intuitive healing, soul guidance, well-woman yoga, and self-development mentoring. And my lovely guest today, my 9th guest, I can't believe there's 9 already, is international award-winning Sharon Huggard, style coach. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, how are you?
So Sharon is based in Cork, and she helps women nationally and internationally to create a look they love, dress with confidence, and feel fab in the body they have, which is very important, isn't it? So she combines her 12 years expertise as a personal stylist and life coach to help style women on the inside and out. So how you look and feel are aligned, magic happens. And Sharon recently added NLP and QTT to her services, which is styling on steroids, which I totally believe. So hello QTT and NLP practitioner. So I can just imagine how that's really amplified everything you do. So warmest welcome. And I'm really excited.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, really excited to upstyle myself.
Yeah. I think after the last 20 months, it's kind of time.
Yeah. So just briefly, just tell viewers a little bit more about your background and how you embarked on this journey to where you are right now.
Yeah, I didn't take. There's no straight lines. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I suppose first of all, I was working in the financial services industry for 15 years in Dublin, and then we came back to Cork when we were looking at kind of starting a family. And my husband is from Kerry, so I was able to lure him a bit closer to Kerry, the Kerry bounds. So then we went down, we had 3 kids under 3.5, and it was a busy house. And I finished up in the financial, the corporate world, stayed home and mind the 3 of them. And while it was amazing and I enjoyed every minute of it, but I want every minute that would be like, I didn't enjoy every minute of it, but I did enjoy it. It was a privilege to be able to do it. But you do kind of lose yourself a little bit and your identity a little bit. You become, and they were so small, they weren't out, like you weren't even meeting people. That they were small. It was 3 and 3.5. It was kind of mad. But I remember one day, and don't ask me how, I still to this day, this is my biggest kind of going, oh my God, how did I even have time to read a magazine? But there was a magazine and there was a competition for Ireland's next top stylist. Without any, I say, you'll understand, the way the world works, or the way something pops up and appears randomly. I'd never even worked in a shop. I'd no, experience in retail or anything like that. I didn't even have the obligatory, teenager in retail. But there's something I was drawn to it. And I said, I'm going to style one particular item, and I'm going to style it 6 different ways. So I suppose that was the kind of the practical element of me coming, because while I was at home and while I wasn't, I suppose, dressing up to go out to work or dressing up to, I still loved, kind of style and fashion, but at the same time, it had to be practical. It had to work for me. I wasn't wearing the suits that I would have worn in the South Mall or that kind of thing. But at the same time, I wanted to feel good, and I wanted to feel it a little bit more. I wanted to feel myself. I wasn't ready to kind of release. Sharon wasn't finished.
Yeah.
So I actually won Ireland's Next Top Stylist, which was amazing. Yeah, it was. I got a beautiful tunic top for my sister, my younger, cooler sister. It was LA Megan. A lot of the stars were wearing it. Celebrities in America were wearing it at the time, and she had it. And I got her and her friend, her lovely friend, to model it. And I sent it in and didn't think much else about it. And then I found out that I won it. So I was thrilled. I got to train with one of Ireland's top stylists. I got to do a course in fashion styling. And I also got to do an amazing photo shoot with Lily Faubourg, who is amazing. So that was kind of my entry into the styling world. And I just kind of went, yes, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And for me, it's always been much more the practical element of it. As I said, I prefer to be in Longford or Leap or Leitrim or wherever than London Fashion Week. And it's not that I don't admire the beauty of it or whatever, yes, but for me it has to be practical, it has to be relatable, it has to be how I bring it back and how I can help a woman feel aligned with who she is. It's not a cookie cutter version of me. You know what I mean? This isn't a makeover show. This is about you finding your style and reclaiming yourself a little bit. So a lot of my clients would feel a little bit lost for different reasons, in their lives, maybe as with family in different situations and that kind of thing, and kids at different stages, and maybe now working at home or just working out in the work, there's just a lot going on, and they just kind of feel a little bit, oh my God, I've lost myself. Who am I even anymore? So that's where I think the power of styling inside and out has been,
I needed you about 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is. It is very powerful.
Yeah, because I had 3 kids as well, and there was only a couple of years between them. Lived in Cork at the time as well, and had the privilege of staying at home, but which I wouldn't change, but at the same time, you did lose part of yourself, don't you, after you have kids as well? You just kind of go all into mothering. Yeah,
and I think whether you go back to work or whether you stay at home, like this isn't any, you know what I mean? I think every women in general do, they kind of put themselves lower down the priority list. And it's not that, we don't resent it or anything, but at the same time, I don't think you have to choose, fulfilling your children's dreams and letting go of your own either.
Yeah, and I've definitely learned that since the last 15 years or so as well, that, you don't. And actually, when you put yours first, it's actually beneficial in that way to your kids. Obviously, you have the normal, responsibilities, but in general, when you put your dreams first in that way, that it has a positive effect on the children. I've seen it with my own now, who are older.
It is, and it gives them, you're a role model for them. Not just for your daughters, because your sons are, they need to see it too. And it is nowadays, it's they can. I suppose when you have your own business, they'll get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah,
it's not all joy and unicorns and rainbows, but so it is. It's good to see that. And it doesn't have to be only your own business. It could be anything. Go back horse riding. It could be anything that you want to do that you've kind of given up or kind of put on the side burner.
I think women who have their own business often would beat themselves up about that when time and that. But what I've learned from mine is they're older now. Mine would be, you know, the youngest been 17. They're all out of the house. Is that they've got this level of they're really focused, they're really organized, and they're actually able to incorporate in the social life, the looking after themselves, because they look after them, and they get the work done, which I was never able to do back at that age. I couldn't combine the two. It was one of the, I just didn't have the capacity. My nervous system didn't have the capacity to do that without feeling totally out of depth. So it does have a, you know, if people are there even just in that, or they're working a lot, you know, that it does have that, there is so many positives that you'll see later.
Oh, completely, because I would be a little bit like kind of, my husband would give out to me saying I'm a helicopter mother, and he'd be much more from, you know, came from a family that, you know, you kind of fended for yourself, and it stood to him like, and he'd always think, God, you know, you're helicoptering them. And then during lockdown, because I was, you know, working, and they were up at all sorts of hours of the day, and there was no day or night here, and I kind of went, I'll buy the food, but I can't be coming in and out. You know, there's breakfast at lunchtime, there's breakfast at dinner. Usually there was just all sorts of, it was kind of, and I said, and it was great because my eldest son learned how to, you know, cook things for himself, and it was actually great. So they're skills that will stand to them for life.
Yeah, it's a bit of a balance, isn't it? We all do the helicoptering at times, isn't it? And then we kind of sit back and say, you know, and then you come back into the grounded mother version, you know. But you know, it's part and parcel, isn't it, of the whole journey of parenting.
Yeah. I know when they were small, you kind of, my mother used to say, oh, enjoy them when they're small, because you know where they are. And we're at that stage now, you know, whereas my eldest is kind of, you know, this fella's coming here to drive off, and they're gone off to, you know, it's kind of, you're kind of going, God almighty, it's a different, I love, that's one thing that was very selfish of me, but I loved lockdown for that reason. All my little chicks were in their nest, and I knew where they were, and I know that wasn't good for their development, and I wouldn't, you know, I know that it's not, but it was just lovely.
I just like to know they're at a touch of a button, so
yeah.
He's tying them anywhere, you know. So I mean, that's the wonder of us just even, like, I haven't met you before, but just having the privilege in this day and age to have this. I know there's plenty of pros and cons and whatever, but to be able to do this and share your story and your expertise and tips and stuff with women, but also with the kids, as you can say, they're only a button away, isn't it? And
it is,
so I was talking last night with a couple of friends and just saying, like, years ago when we were in school, like, you left home and that was it. Even if did you have we were saying, like, you know, you have a phone at that stage, even, you know, it was a while ago, but
I went to college in Dublin now after school. I was only 17. That's why I keep going back to my son. I kind of going, like, he's 18 now, Sharon, like, you were 17 living in Dublin, and your parents do what you were doing. You know, if you were doing anything mad, which I think I was doing anything too mad, but you know, you're kind of going, you just have to, it's like, give them roots and wings.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So even with the styling thing, so where did you go from there, and how do you work? Say where you are right now, like, how do you work? If I came to you, like, does somebody have to know their style, or I'd be a variety of things, like, I don't think I have any.
So just going back, I suppose, just to feel, because it's kind of important for people just to think, oh God, you know, she kind of landed, and here she is, and she's all, she knows what she's doing. I didn't. So I started up my own business. Then after that, I was like, this is what I want to do. I loved helping, you know, I won't say real women, because every woman is real. So as in, like, women, just everyday women that kind of weren't into fashion per se, but still wanted to look well and kind of wanted to be able to put an outfit together and look and feel good. So I was like, that's it. This is my mission. This is why I've been put on this earth to do this. And I set up my own business. It was called Style for You. And actually then what happened was I just felt like an imposter all the time. I never felt one of the fashion stylists that I worked with. Now, again, it's, you know, when I say this, it's the meaning I put on it. And I put the meaning I attached to what she said. She kind of said, oh, you need to have something different, you know, about yourself, you know, something unique, you know. And then I took it as I was too ordinary to be a fashion stylist. You know, I had no unique, I hadn't mad glasses or, you know, streak my hair or purple hair or whatever. I was too ordinary to be a fashion stylist. So I never felt, ever felt like that it was for me, or I never felt comfortable in it. I just kind of went, who am I? Here am I trying to kid here now with 3 small kids at home, being a fashion stylist, and I never even worked in a shop. And I'm too ordinary. And so I balked, to be honest. I gave it a year, and it wasn't a business, it was only a hobby. I mean, sure, with 3 small kids, I was passionate about what I did, but I hadn't set it up like a business. You know, the way now there's so many supports and there's so many, and when you have your own business, you have so many hats to wear. So I was kind of going, God, this isn't work. I'm not feeling it. And when I look back now, and I think when my memories come up on my Facebook of what I achieved in that year, it's actually mind blowing, but I just didn't see it myself. And then I was offered a job in a local boutique here that was opening up. It was a beautiful boutique, to be the fashion stylist, kind of working there. And I ran for the hills. I literally took it and ran and went, okay, no, I can do that. I can see myself as, you know, working in there and all the rest of it. And I suppose in hindsight, looking back, I kind of, you know, hid my light in there and kind of said, no, this is me. And yes, it suited my family circumstances. It was 10 minutes from home. It was a beautiful shop. I got to style hundreds and hundreds of women, if not thousands, over the 6 years. So that was amazing. And I became a fashion buyer as well. So look, there was loads of positives to it. But now looking back on it, I know what happened. I kind of went in and hid there. And then, but the passion hadn't gone away. The shop was closed down 2 years ago. Just the owner moved on to other businesses or whatever that they have. And I went, okay, it's back again. Here we go again. The itch hasn't gone away. And at this stage, I'd been on my personal development journey, and I was kind of going, okay, what happened if I merge the inside and outside? Because, to be honest, fashion by itself, I always felt it was like putting a plaster on a broken leg. I always felt that when somebody left the shop and they had a new dress for a wedding or they had a new top for a night out, yes, they felt amazing, but then they didn't feel any different the next day. So I kind of, just for me, that just, I wanted to help them, you know. Yeah. So I kind of said, but the one thing I said, if I come back this time, I'm coming back as me. I am enough. As I am. So that's how I'm back now, and I'm me. and you know, that's just, and I suppose that a lot of people, when you start being yourself and you start believing, you know, people, you know, kind of resonate with you, and people kind of go, oh God, you know, you're very relatable. So when you start being yourself, but that comes with time. And I suppose for me, that's when I kind of really understood the power of the inside and outside, because I had the tools to look well. Usually I had the tools, I knew what suited my body shape, I knew what to put on, I knew what. But at the same time, I didn't have the belief in myself. So while I was, you know, had the tools to look amazing, that wasn't really enough if I didn't feel it on the inside as well.
Yeah, totally get that. And that's what it's all about, isn't it?
That's when I kind of went, oh my God, the personal styling, the personal development world, when they kind of collided, that's when, you know, I kind of went, oh my God, yeah, I'm onto something here. So that's kind of where, you know, I'm 2 years into it now. So my timing has never been great, because I started off and then we headed into global pandemic where everybody literally took to their sweaty leggings for.
Maybe it was perfect timing. You just, you know, there's things happening.
So my timing has never been, but here we are. But to answer your question, that was a very roundabout answer, but I just think it's important, because sometimes when we look at people and we see people and we kind of go, God, they've got their shit together, you know, I don't.
Well, I can totally resonate with what you said about the way you're showing up. Like, even when I went into the sexual wellness start, I mean, I know that's my mission, and I ran the other way from it for years. And then you thought you had to show up in a certain way when you see others, and that was one of the things we were just learning over the years. Well, you just show up as yourself, because even with you, like, you know, women want real women, but real women come in all different shapes and sizes. But they also come in all different ways. So all different women who are out there doing, say, sexual wellness in a different way, that's just their own unique stance. So mine is, I'm a mum of 3, you know, of 3, whatever. I'm just coming as myself from my own unique experience. So I totally resonate with what you were saying there. Just it's about what you're putting out, your own signature, because that's what's going to attract in the right people, the right soul people to you, who are actually looking for you as well.
Yeah, and like, I think that's very important to me as well, is that, you know, not to be looking at people, not to be comparing yourself. It really is, and it is difficult. Like when you see somebody and you're kind of thinking, oh geez, they're flying it over there, like, and I'm over here, and social media anyway is the highlight reel of somebody's life as well. You're not getting it behind the scenes, and even yourself, the stuff that you put out. Now I try to be as authentic as possible, but at the same time I don't put out.
God, what I put out the gate.
So it's
I tend to just I tend to just post what's going on with me or what's happened with a client. So I kind of post in that way, but I totally get that. I find it difficult to show up if I'm not in my own space. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something in me, and and it's like it's almost nearly a thing of learning just to show up without having to.
Oh, completely. Yeah, it is, and it's very funny. I kind of said that I was setting the bar. I was going to show. I wasn't going to only just come on Facebook and that when I was done up or whatever and stuff. So the very first post I did on Facebook, I showed up in my workout gear with no makeup. And I said it was very important for me to do that because first it was kind of making everybody else kind of feel comfortable that if this wasn't a page for only kind of interacting with, if you were kind of dolled up to the nines, because if you were, you wouldn't need my help anyway in the first place. If you knew your style. And just again, that just that you don't have to be, you could be just in the car, shoot, you know what I mean? You could just be out for a walk, you could just be, so that was kind of, but I was laughing at it. So I had my workout gear, my kind of running top without the running part. And I had it on and I just did my thing and it was all lovely and I was delighted with myself. And then I came back into the room and I was like, I did that. And then my husband started laughing. He said, your top is on inside out.
Oh no. Well, there you go.
It's real and it was big. So look, it could only get better. I kind of went, look, that's me. But there's room for everybody. And I really firmly believe that. And I firmly believe in raising each other up, whether there's a rising tide raises all boats. I think there's a place for everybody and not to be looking, the rear view mirror and looking at other people. There's room for everybody and everybody.
Everybody's been at those stages. I've been at those stages and now I'm in a different place now, but I've been through all the stages up to that. So there's always room. Like if there was no room for me when I was at a particular stage on my journey, then, where would I have got the help to raise me and elevate me up to this? So yeah, there's totally, and there can't be any competition with your own experience and your own unique expression. If you're just yourself, there is no competition.
No.
And actually, the more you spend in your own garden with yourself, in your own body and sensing in and intuiting, like you said earlier, the meaning you would put on at that stage from what that woman had said.
Yeah.
You put that meaning on, but the more time, you spend on the inside with yourself instead of going into somebody else's and wondering what they're thinking about what they're doing, that's where you get the results.
Yeah, no, it is. And look, it's a journey and everything happens at the right time, at the right phase as well. So,
totally,
all kind of stands to you. You learn from it.
Yeah. So a bit about styling now. So on my leg of the journey now, I want to kind of see, do you know what I do? Over the years, I kind of get to the stage, I have two girls, okay, and they're big clothes people, okay, so they love their clothes, they love their style. But I definitely have a thing with the kids. It's like if you haven't worn it in a year, I usually tell them to throw it out. They go through every 3 to 4 months of clothes. I also try to kind of put it out there, not to bulk buy because it's on sale or it's cheap. Like, don't buy a load of stuff that you're only going to wear once or it's not going to wash when it goes in the bin. This is just the way I do it. Like, spend a bit of extra and buy some nice pieces. But for me, I go through a thing and I'll just dump. Like I had clothes for years there at one stage.
And
I know. You know what? They're only accumulating, memories that are still there as well. Like, you know what I mean? So, last time you wore them. And so I think sometimes that's why people find it hard to part with stuff.
That's it. Like, it's very funny because I'm actually I have an online program now called the Style Solution, and we go through, your body shape, your style, personality, your color. And this week we're on decluttering.
Oh, right. Well, there you go. I'm seeing that.
People are just, they've so much stuff wrapped up in their clothes, memories. Irish people are devils for, I paid good money for that now, so it can sit in my wardrobe for years. And not wear it, but and kind of then memories, even say if you are in a relationship and now the relationship is finished, that it's a very cathartic way as well. Obviously, you know, if it's a death or something like that, you need to process and you need to take your own time with that. That's a very different. I'm just talking about pieces that now, you know, no longer serve you, and it's not the you that you want to be. Do you know what I mean? It's not part of your new you and you going forward. And like if you've a load of stuff in your wardrobe, I always kind of liken it to, it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah.
And you know, you've got a bit of Chinese, a bit of Mexican, a bit of Indian, a bit of, you know, and it's all just there. You know, we're all like, you know, we kind of go for a value for money if it's an all-you-can-eat, and you've it piled up, and it just, first of all, there's just too much on the plate. It doesn't look aesthetically pleasing. You know, we're not going to eat it all. It's like we're not going to wear it all because we can't, you know, there's just too much of it. Instead of going to a Chinese restaurant and having something, you know, from the range, it's not like a uniform, but it's just there's some sort of consistency, there's some sort of, you know, story to kind of be behind it. Because like when you open your wardrobe, and that's what, you know, you open your wardrobe and you kind of go, good God almighty, like it's just full of clothes, and yet it's so frustrating because you've absolutely nothing to wear. And that's what a lot of my clients, they're just so frustrated because, you know, things now don't fit them. That's, I suppose,
that's my wardrobe now. Actually.
Yeah, things aren't just fishing, you know.
I go in and there's nothing to wear, like at this point I'm at now, kind of. Yeah.
So like I would say to people to, you know, if you're on a weight loss journey, absolutely keep them if you find it motivating. So if you find that, you know, your target, maybe instead of weighing yourself, because that's another issue about weighing yourself worth with the weighing scales. That's another day's work. But
I don't even own weighing scales. I haven't owned.
Well, you're lucky.
Years.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Well, no, I have COVID pounds on that are shedding bit by bit, but I just kind of go by clothes. I just never bought a weight.
And that is amazing. Do you know what I mean? So that, like, if you're on a weight loss journey and you have pieces that you know you're never going, you know, you're not going to fit into. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're just not going to ever lose 3 stone. You're happy maybe losing a stone, or you're going to lose. So, you know, it's a pieces that you just know you're never going to wear again, or even if you do fit into them, like we evolve and grow, and so do our choices in clothes. So get rid of them, because if you have them mixed in with everything in your wardrobe, you think you've options and you don't. And you're very frustrated then getting dressed every day because you think you've loads of options, because you're consciously, you can see there's loads of clothes there, but you can't wear them.
That must be why I do this jumping every couple of months. I've just realised now when you said that, because it is thinking you've loads of options, and then you go through the same clothes each time. And, you know, I was going to say as well, do you know where women as well often do that is buying a certain size in order to fit into it.
Oh, yeah, I have a client
and keeping it. Yeah. Or the other thing is, do you know when you go in and you, like, say you're a size 10, you're a size 12, there's so many women, and even it's just a kind of a general thing. They tacked onto the size of the clothes instead of the actual fit.
Yeah.
And I stopped doing that. I stopped attaching to the size.
And the size means nothing. Size means, I did a radio interview there recently, and it was about, you know, your mom was saying, like, you know, in men's clothes, you know, size 34 means 34. It means a 34-inch waist. A size 12 in a woman's means size 12 what? You know, it's not 12 anything.
Well, if you go to any different shop and you try that on, when you, like, besides the 2 girls, they'll buy something in one size, and something might come in the post. They're totally different size.
Completely, even within brands, they're different. So I always say, go for what looks good on you. And women are divilled as well for, especially women that are carrying weight or on their tummy, or for going up a size to hide their tummy, and then they end up kind of putting on bulk up here. So always try on the smaller size as well, is what I'd say to people as well, just because that might be niche on you. And they just, as I say, they kind of, it'll hide me. But if it's adding bulk onto you, you know, you're not feeling your best. But definitely decluttering. If you can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't wear it. That's kind of my kind of philosophy. So I'm doing a little bit of a declutter little kind of thing at the moment on social media with our tips on how to declutter. So that is, decluttering is definitely giving yourself options. You can see it. You know, you become, and then you kind of go, oh my God, I found a piece here, I haven't worn it for, you know, and you might fall back and up. It's like a child with toys. You know, if you take away a toy for a while and reintroduce it to them, they're kind of, oh yay. Or you can then shop for the gaps. You can shop with consideration when you know what you have.
Yes, yeah.
And even if you are carrying weight at the moment, what I'm urging my clients to do is buy a few pieces. You deserve to look well now. Now, if you're carrying an extra stone, 2 stone, whatever, you deserve to look well now. So don't be deferring it and say, oh, I'll get into something new when I lose weight, because then you're tying your self-worth up.
And then you're giving power to the external.
Completely. You deserve to look well now. It might be, you could maybe have a beautiful necklace with it or a pair of earrings. You can accept, but like you deserve. And when you come then from that place, you're much more likely to lose the weight if that's what you want to do, because your mindset is different. You're feeling good about yourself, and then do you think you're in a better position to lose weight coming from that, or coming from, oh my God, I hate myself?
And I did that during so even this top, and I'm sitting there and listening to it now, and I bought this in the summer. When did I buy it? God, I don't know, was it August or something? And it was a neat fit.
Yeah.
And I've lost weight, and I can feel it, like I've lost weight in the shoulders, or I've shed. I don't say lose weight, because you think of Meyer Gear always said, if you lose it, then you're always going to be looking for it.
Yeah,
so I've shed it.
Was a client of mine said she's on a weight release journey. I think that's actually lovely, because if you lost something, you are always
you'd be looking for it. Honestly, you're always looking for it. I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
So shedding, I have shed it, and I can feel like, even when I put this on this morning, I can actually feel it so much looser.
Mm-hmm.
But I bought it at the time, the size that I was, because I thought, I'm not going to buy something smaller or try to squash into it or else. So I definitely need, it won't last much longer now by them.
Yeah, and then you let that go. I just think, I also give with love. Think of somebody that's going to be able to go to an interview with it, or be able to go on a night out, or
recycling the clothes bank.
Completely. Yeah, give with love, because sometimes people get caught up with it. But when you reframe it and give with love, and think of somebody can now get a job wearing it, or can go to a wedding that they wouldn't have been able to maybe have something new for, and now they feel amazing. So if you think of, instead of thinking of you, think of them.
Yeah. And also, when you were saying, because you're doing, you've just done your QTT and NLP, and you do the coaching and that, so working for the inside out as well. I know with clothes for years I'd have, and they'd be in the wardrobe, and you'd subconsciously I was holding on to them because they had a memory, but the memory was like too painful to look at.
Yeah.
So it's not always happy memories of, I don't want to let it go because I had a great time. It can often be a memory of something where you wore it and it wasn't a great time in your life, or it's connected to a person who bought it for you, or whatever else, old lovers or whatever, old relationships. There's lots of different things. So it can be both, like, can't it?
That's what, like, it's like when you go there, it's not just a wardrobe, and that's why I would be very compassionate and very, kind of mind my ladies when we do it, because it's not just a case of, like, this isn't, I don't know, whoever, Trini and Stan kind of going in, get rid of that. Like, I empower women with the tools, and then they make the decisions. Kind of yes, I will help guide and support them, but at the same time, it's not about me, it's about them.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's what I love about it. So what are your tips, like, say, for me now? I kind of go in, I've never been one to follow fashion. When I was younger, I remember a friend of mine used to live in England, and every time there was something out, it was in fashion, she'd go out and buy it. It didn't matter what it looked like on her. I just couldn't do that. So, I used to nearly make my own stuff and put things together when I was in my teens. I used to wear kind of, and I suppose that's just the way I've realized where I am now. I'm not great at following the crowd.
Yeah, well, that's good. And being aware of that is also good.
I'm more aware of it now, and I'm kind of looking back at how I was before, and I was never really a crowd pleaser in that way. But and like, some pieces looked amazing on her, but some people's pieces just didn't suit her. But it didn't matter, because it was in fashion, so she bought whatever was there, and that was it.
And I suppose that's kind of the biggest trouble at the moment, is because the shops, even I was buying my son something yesterday, and he couldn't try it on, so we're not able to try clothes on now as well, and a lot of us are buying at home and buying online. And yes, I would always say, don't be under the influence, but yes, take inspiration from bloggers and social media influencers. First of all, they're getting paid not to burst anybody's bubble, but they are getting paid to show it. And some of them are very authentic and only show things they like and all the rest of it. But at the same time, if they're 6 foot, and size 8, and you're not, you know what I mean? So be very kind of, as they take it as inspiration rather than that being under the influence. ask yourself, does it suit your lifestyle, your body shape, your style, personality?
Yeah.
That's one thing I would say to people as well. Spend your money where you spend your time.
Okay.
That's kind of one of I just have some top tips that I kind of had to ask my clients what they found useful. So
spend your money where you spend your
time. Your money where you spend your time is definitely one of them. And then does your wardrobe reflect that? When you go to do your declutter and you go to do, I have a little pie chart and all the rest of it, and you can kind of, if some people are very kind of analytical and they like kind of that side of it. But it's just, then does your wardrobe represent that?
Yeah.
I remember even a couple of years ago, my sister-in-law, she was buying hiking boots for like 120 or 130, and I was like, oh my God, I could have a pair of high heels for that hiking boots, really? And it's so funny now because I didn't spend my time hiking, back then, but now I can totally understand it. Do you know what I mean? So like if you were to spend time hiking, you spend time walking the dog every day, have something that you feel great in walking the dog every day.
Yeah, yeah.
This isn't about putting like a dress on you and off you go, and heels, and this is, as I say, this isn't kind of a hair extension and eyelashes and body
dress for the occasion or whatever you're.
Completely, it's all about you, and it's all
comfort as well, isn't it? It's
and like comfort isn't going anywhere. You know what I mean? That is something that isn't going anywhere. It's definitely not. We've all got used to being comfortable, and I think I don't think we're ready for the heels and Spanx just yet.
Yeah. Do you know what I found? I don't know what your take on this is. If you look at girls now, and again, my two girls, I often say they'll come in and they'll have something, they'll wear it, and I'll give the honest opinion. I can tell if they're not comfortable in it. So straight away, they're not shining on the inside.
Yeah.
So it may be a beautiful dress or a beautiful whatever, but I know it's not resonating with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they bought it because it looked nice and it's a lovely dress, but it's not.
Somebody else that is, or look lovely in somebody else, or something else.
And I can say that's a beautiful dress, but I'm not seeing you in it. You're not coming out.
Yeah.
And then they'll go and put another thing on, and suddenly they're shining.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's important as well, because not everybody's. You may have the most fantastic dress, but not everybody's going to feel the same way in something. Do you know what I mean? So it's like everybody's so unique.
Completely, and that's what
one size doesn't fit all, and never will.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's why when I worked in the boutique as well, I didn't work for commission, because I could not tell somebody they looked well in something if they didn't. And I would know straight away when they come out of the change room if they're at something. Yeah. I would just say take it off. If you're not comfortable in it, you're going to go home. Your subconscious knows for whatever reason it is that you are not comfortable in it, and that's going to be hanging there in a tag when you go to do your declutter, in a year's time, because there's something about it that you're not comfortable with. You might, consciously know that, oh my God, it's lovely, I love it, or it's lovely, and I saw it on Mary and it's tapping her. But for some reason, there's just something that you're not comfortable with it, and if you're not comfortable with it, you're never going to wear it. If you're pulling at it inside the change room like that, you're just not going to be comfortable in it. And for me, I suppose for me, clothes, they're a tool to help empower you, but it's I lost my train of thought now. It was going to be very profound. But what was I was going to say? But yes, they're a tool to empower you, but it has to come from you. Do you know what I mean? It has to come from. It's not like a cookie, version. Yes, and take inspiration, but just be very careful that you're not under the influence.
Well, I suppose it's when you're feeling great on the inside in something, everybody notices what you're wearing, because they notice you're comfortable. So they see your light more. So what you're wearing externally, when you do look after yourself, it's like the body is your temple. So if you look after your body in that way and you dress it well, like you would anything else, then you're looking after the external as well as the internal. Do you know what I mean? You tell them to, do your inside, look after yourself, eat well, exercise, meditate, all of that stuff. Then it's really just as important to do that on the outside as well. Because sometimes you have people who do all of the inside stuff and then they go, oh, I don't care about what I wear, the external doesn't matter. But actually, it's a reflection. So you want to rethink.
Well, that's a choice. I was laughing in the Devil Wear Prada, that movie. Yeah. And there's some black, they're kind of like, oh, fashion is so, so superficial, and they kind of this, and whatever they're wearing, whatever they, we're like, but that's a choice. You're making a choice. That's a choice too. You mean that's just your choice.
But it's only. Well, this is of course, I'm always coming from just my own perspective of looking at maybe fashion and kind of just observing. as well, other people and myself about wearing, but like obviously I feel better when I'm wearing something that feels good, like, you know, that I like. So that tends to bring up the endorphins and the feel good, you know, in me. Whereas if I am kind of, you know, even if I'm slouching around in something and it feels like this is my, you know, this is my comfortable day and this is what I want, like, you know, then that'll bring up the endorphins. But if I'm wearing something and I just don't feel it, or I'm not feeling it, just basically compounds the negativity that may be coming up inside, that I'm feeling disempowered. So I mean, both of them, it's like your external world anyway is a reflection of your internal.
Completely.
So those do matter.
Yeah. And like, I suppose I would always say as well, to use clothes as a tool to enhance your mood. You know what I mean? You can use them to enhance. You know, but like often, like when people come to me, you know, in a style rush, that is symptomatic of something else that's going on. You know what I mean? So your clothes, they're not separate, because if you don't feel you deserve it, you don't feel you're enough, you don't feel confident in yourself, it's going to reflect in the clothes choices you wear, and wanting to hide and hold yourself back in the world. Do you know what I mean? So that's why a lot of people kind of would come to me in the end, because it is now reflecting, and you know, it's not the way they want to present themselves, but it's the way their inside is kind of leading them to, you know, present themselves.
What's your take on kind of colour and prints and stuff? Like, what's
love it. Like, yes, I mean, it's just, again, just a mood enhancer when you put a colour on that just, you know, and I've been with my ladies, I do colour as well. And I tried to be more practical about the colour elements of it, you know, that you know, how to wear your wow colours, but then also how to, you know, not wear them, and how you'd, because, you know, when you come to me, you have a wardrobe that's, you know, like this. Yeah. And then as you know, and you kind of know better, you do better, you know, that kind of way. So then you have a wardrobe, but I either love them or they're practical. You know what I mean? There has to be, they're either useful or you love them. And then I always do one in and one out. So once you get something that you know suits you better, let something go, that so you're not ending up back, and then your wardrobe is moving all the time into a wardrobe that you love and reflects you and fits you and flatters you, and you just feel amazing. And colour is amazing. Colour just really is a fabulous mood enhancer if you put something on, especially if you're looking at yourself, as we all are, a lot more. We didn't really have a choice in it, but you know, colour, especially like if I was wearing a grey top here today, I would completely blend into the scenery here.
Yes.
Whereas I put a pop of colour on, it elevates, it feels, and own the square. You know, that's why I always kind of say about Zoom, own the square, because you only have this tiny little bit on the screen. And a pop of colour, especially just, you know, especially on Zoom, watch your background so you're not blending into it, because you don't want to blend into the background.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, and you know, they have like say there's a thing about having a soul personality or a soul colour blueprint. I don't know if you ever, but like my soul personality colour would be orange, and it's funny that it was a colour I never wore.
Yeah,
I actually avoided it. I thought, I hate that colour. I don't like that colour at all. And then when I found out it was my soul personality colour, I thought, oh, once I started to wear it, I could, you know, whatever was going on internally, I could feel the difference. So when I do wear it, I feel the difference in my attitude, actually, and my direction.
Wow.
Focus. Yeah.
And it's funny because Frank Sinatra has a saying, what is it? Orange is the happiest colour of them all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But actually, orange, you think about, if you bring into the internal, you're talking about your sacral chakra, and that is orange, and that's your creativity, you know, it's your sexuality, it's, you know, the life force, so your creative center in there. So,
wow.
And it's the womb space. So, you know,
it's
all in there. So it's obviously, it's very important.
Wow.
For men and women, because it's the creative space there. So, yeah.
It's fascinating. Actually, I must look into that. Actually, your soul colour.
Yeah, I'll send you on the thing. Actually,
do. Learn something new every day. It's always good to be learning.
I do. Yeah. It's amazing to bring those.
So that was kind of, spend your money where you spend your time was one of the tips. Get your clothes ready the night before, again, because if you are up and we're in the day, and you press the alarm, and then you're in the day and you're reactive. So if you take 5 minutes to get your outfit ready the night before, it will really make a huge difference, because it'll only take 5 minutes. So link it to an existing habit, like, you know, brushing your teeth or your skincare or whatever, and just literally take that 5 minutes. to, I would often say, try something where you haven't worn for a while.
Okay.
Wear something that you either wear regularly, but is there a different way you can wear it?
Okay.
And then the third one would be the power of 3. So, people would often say to me, God, it's, I can get dressed, and I kind of going, yay. I can get dressed, but I just can't put something together. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's where I can't, it's to look stylish and polished, and that's kind of what, people are trying to achieve. And it's the third element. So if you have a top and jeans, like I have today, the earrings are the third element in this.
Yeah, I was admiring your earrings.
So, yeah, thank you. Like, if I didn't have them on, you know what I mean? I'm still dressed.
Yeah.
But it just elevates it. So it could be a jeans and a t-shirt, and then like a blazer or something would elevate it. So it's the third piece. So if you're struggling with getting that, that polished or kind of styled look, the third element. So it's the power of 3. That's one that my clients really, really find, kind of find great. And then another one would be, don't keep things for good. If we've learned anything in the last 2 years, we don't know what's ahead of, don't be keeping the good wine glasses. I think now we've moved on anyway. We don't have good rooms in our houses because every inch of them are being used.
Yeah.
But, like, even when I look at my parents' house, half their house is a good room.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, you're kind of.
Yeah.
And like, the room, parish priest, or, the room for Christmas or that kind of thing, use the good wine glasses, use the good, like, I'd say to people now, unless now it's a going out frock, down to, going down aisle 5 in Aldi. As your catwalk might be a bit, but if it's a top, it's just a top, and people can go, oh no, it's a good top.
Yeah. I don't think I have any good stuff like in that way.
Amazing now. Usually let yourself have that feeling of kind of of feeling great now. Spray that good perfume, use that good body, like
abundance as well, isn't it? Getting into the kind of abundance gratitude, and it's all happening now.
Yeah.
What you attract more than attract more.
Completely. So yeah, there's a lot of thing about mindset around clothes, and kind of not, you say kind of shopping and sales only, and there's a lot of kind of kind of lack maybe around that. But wear your nice pieces, wear your nice clothes, wear your nice, just wear them and enjoy them.
What's your take on shoes? Now, I was going to say as well, if you ever see girls and these amazing heels, but they're not practical.
Yeah.
I love heels. I was a shoe person now back in the day, but I love shoes. But what's your take on that? Even about looking like when you're looking good or whatever, you put an outfit together, and then you see somebody and the shoes are up there and they can't walk, and it takes away from everything that they're wearing, like they can't walk properly.
It's like they're like Bambi. But I think we all wore stuff that our parents kind of couldn't get their heads around or whatever. So I think it's just kind of a bit of let them off, because it's kind of, it's just fun. I remember even things my parents would have been kind of going, really? Remember the shoulders of stuff were down here, and my dad was trying to lift the shoulder up on my shoulder. He couldn't get his head around it at all. But yeah, so I just think we all wore stuff that our parents probably didn't get, and we're kind of putting our kind of thought on my my slippers.
Yeah.
But I think I
love heels, but I'm saying you see some, you see a girl going out young and they look fabulous, and then they stand up to walk and it's all over.
Even if they had a heel with a strap, but you know what I mean? Because if you have a heel that it is, you're literally in and you're like that, even a little ankle strap or something, keep you keep you afloat.
And I can't leave it without, because we're, I work in sexual wellness. What about lingerie, underwear? There's one thing I've noticed the women I'm working with, they don't buy that, or they'll wear the daily whatever. So I don't know, I can't remember what words come to me now, but the comfy underwear. What's your take on that? And it is another way of wearing colour, isn't it? Where
it is, and like
so colour that you might not feel very confident in the beginning to wear on the outside. You can wear it under, as underwear as well, can't you?
Yeah, I'm not going to be now pretending that I'm matching underwear and it's all gorgeous. So I'm going to put my hand up straight away and say that in case anybody
but that's it.
is watching, or my husband is kind of going, what? So yeah, no, I am a bit of the comfort, and I do think because we've got out of the habit of getting even just getting our you know, our bra measurements and all the rest of it. Like that's been 2 years because they haven't been open. A lot of them haven't been open for certainly for a year. So definitely getting your bra, and even yes, it makes a huge, you know, dressing from the inside out. You know, if you have got that set on, like it's not for anybody in it. Like when I talk about dressing, I'm talking about dressing for yourself.
Yes.
And you know, if you want to share it with somebody else later on, that's, you know, great. But it starts with you. It starts with you, whether somebody sees it or not. You know, and it's dressing from the inside out, and it's just, you know, and you feel more sexy, you feel more kind of confident, and it is fabulous. But even the difference it makes to have the right fitting bra on under an item of clothes is amazing, especially if you have a larger chest and you kind of, you know, maybe you have a bit of a tummy now. The difference it makes, it lifts and it elevates and it opens up that space.
Yeah, totally.
So I always say they're not like 2 pints sitting on a bar. So it just, the difference it makes to clothes.
It's also healthier for your, you know, for even for your breasts as well, just to have the right fitting bra.
You know, so there's
your energy's moving properly and everything.
There's nothing nicer than having lovely, sexy underwear. It is.
But then whatever's on your skin as well. So if you think about when you're feeling that in your skin, then you're probably feeling more in your body, you know, with the touch aspect, you know, because again, when you're more in your body, you're more in your confidence as well, and you are more in your sexuality. So I mean, it's a win-win. So that's just the kind of thing. I couldn't let that go without saying.
Yeah, no, it's kind of got me thinking now, kind of going, oh God, no, okay, that's that I need to.
That's another thing now that you bring in there. So
I need to up my game on the old underwear.
So no, I've got loads of tips there. Do you want to recap on just kind of a few tips again before we finish?
So
and then just share if you've got the group or whatever you've got there, just to share what.
I will, of course. Thanks, and thanks for being part of me on, Siobhan. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, it's been wonderful.
Get your clothes ready the night before. Spend your money where you spend your time. The power of 3. Don't keep things for good, and dress for yourself. Think of 3 words that you would like, you know, to embody. And I actually do an amazing kind of exercise with clients, then how to step into those and how to embody those words, you know, using the techniques that we both know. So just those 5 tips will get you kind of out of the traps. If you want more, I have an amazing, I have to say it is amazing because it is. I have an amazing group called Shine with Style. It's in Facebook, and there's just loads of free resources and videos and files, and there's loads of things in there. So it's Shine with Style on Facebook, or I'm on Instagram at Sharon Huggard, the style coach as well.
That's amazing. I loved this, actually. This was really enjoyable.
Thank you so much. It was great. I can't believe the time has flown.
I know, we're just on the hour. So that's amazing.
No, it's been amazing, really enjoyable.
Yeah, I loved that conversation. That was really lovely. And I'm in that group now, so you'll be seeing me in it. So, asking lots and lots of questions.
Yeah, I'm going to run a little challenge there next week about how to, is it the 7-day no repeat? So it's about, it's about using the clothes that you have before you go shopping with consideration. So it's about using what you have. And it's not like, oh God, you can't wear the same thing ever again. That's not what the point of it is. The point of it is just, I know myself, I've kind of been wearing the same jeans or rotating the same couple of jeans instead of putting on something different. So it's again about going back to your wardrobe and seeing what you have. And in the 7 days, you've lots of ahas. You kind of go, oh God, I don't have enough of this. So you kind of shop for the gap, or you kind of really, you've lots of kind of realizations along the 7 days, and you get a little 30-day outfit challenge kind of guide as well to get you motivated. And
I'll be on that then.
Brilliant. I'm going to kickstart that now next Monday. Yeah.
That's amazing. So all the details there to work more with Sharon as well. So with Shine with Style, isn't it, on Facebook? And
Shine with Style,
7-day challenge next week as well.
Yeah.
So thanks a million, Sharon.
Thank you so much. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And we'll see you again in a couple of weeks' time with my 10th guest.
Yes. Look forward to it. Brilliant.
Bye for now.
Thanks a million. Bye.